Back in the 50s and 60s, when muscle cars were new, GM basically had one, maybe two oil pans for a small block or a big block. But today, when you're swapping an LS motor into an old muscle car, the motor you have may have an oil pan designed for the car the engine was originally designed for. And some of these oil pans just don't fit in these older cars. Fortunately, there's a lot of aftermarket options for a retrofit oil pan. We decided to go with the Holley LS series oil pan because it's the lowest profile, and it also has an option to add a trapdoor baffle system. So if you're going to track your car or even drive it really hard on the street, you don't have to worry about oil starvation problems when you're accelerating hard or hitting the corners really hard. The Holley oil pan comes with this flat baffle, which is basically designed to reduce the amount of foam that ends up in the sump, because if you have foam, then you end up with air going to the bearings, and air doesn't lubricate very well. But if you want to drive your car on the track, Holley makes this optional trapdoor baffle. What a trapdoor baffle means is it's got some trapdoors in it. And what these do is when you throw your car into a corner, you open the baffle that's on the outside of that corner and close the one on the inside, or if you accelerate hard, this back baffle closes. What that does is it keeps the oil around the pickup, so that when you're driving the car hard, the pickup never gets uncovered and it always has a fresh supply of oil, so you don't do any damage to the engine. Installing the oil pan baffle is actually pretty easy. If you've had your car together and you've driven it and you've noticed you have an oil problem when you're hitting the corners hard, you can just remove the pan, take out the 4 bolts that hold this original baffle in, and then you're ready to install the new baffle. Once you've got the old flat baffle out, the first thing you do is clean your pan. And this is very important because anytime you've got a motor open, the smallest piece of dirt can do very significant damage to it. So this is a step that you don't want to ignore. The next thing you need to do is clean your new pieces. And just because there's a possibility there's dirt on it from it being made, being shipped, being handled, who knows, but I'm going to use a good quality wax and grease remover of some sort and a lint-free towel. Just make sure there's nothing on it that could harm the engine. Once you've got the baffle clean, it's pretty simple to just drop it in the oil pan. And then take your 4 bolts that you either removed earlier or fresh out of the package if you haven't installed this oil pan yet. Put a little drop of blue Loctite on them. Once you've got all the bolts threaded, the next step is to torque them to spec, which is 8 to 10 foot-pounds. Once you've got the bolts torqued down, you're ready to reinstall the oil pan on your LS engine following the procedures in the factory service manual. You can learn more about the Holley LS Series retrofit oil pan and their other products at holley.com.